Christmas is really fantastic. Yes, it's my firm favourite day.
I know. We're all finished with that. We don't want to hear about it anymore. We're well into January. We're done with Christmas. Don't give us any more of that Christmas bullshit. Well, my wife and I ask each other well into the middle of December, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know. I don't want anything. And it's true. I don't think we want anything, really. However, that's just impossible. You couldn't just show up on Christmas Day and say, well, you said you didn't want anything. A couple of days before Christmas, I say, well, even though I really don't need any more, why don't you just order a bunch of books for me? She says, all right, just go find all those weird books that you like and order them. So I did. These are the first of my Christmas gifts. Osamu Dazai, No Longer Human. I don't know why, but something tells me this book has become really quite popular recently. Very short, 177 pages. Beautiful edition. It's brand new, actually. It's really, really new. Man, he keeps his books in good condition. Oh, well, it's not very cheap, though. $15. I mean, that's new price. Anyway, I'm still happy to have it because it's, such a nice copy. And then my wife, Yukari, who is Japanese, said, what about this one? The Tale of Genji. I was like, yeah, I need that. That is some really old, important stuff that it's just the book that I always forget to look for. Written centuries before the time of Shakespeare and even Chaucer, The Tale of Genji marks the birth of the novel, and after more than a millennium, this seminal work continues to enchant readers throughout the world. Yeah, it's ancient. It's such a lost world. I think 1850 is a lost world, but this is like something from a science fiction film. Now this is a nice one, because this is an odd one. I think like I've never heard anyone ever mention this. I've never heard anyone talk about this. I don't even know where it came from, like how it came to my attention, but this was one of the books that I wanted. I'm even a little bit hesitant to share it with you because I feel like it's my own little private stash of, selected stuff. But, well, books aren't like that, right? Anyway, this is a book I doubt anybody's ever heard of. I'm Not Stiller by Max Frisch. Of course, somebody's heard of it because I bought it in a used bookstore and it has been read. Anyone ever heard of this one? Me neither. Honestly, I really don't know where this one came from, but I wanted it. Every word is false and true. That is the nature of words. So how can we ever know for certain the identity of a man in the cell? He claims to be an American citizen named White, but the police are unshakable in the belief that he's Anatole Ludwig Stiller, the Swiss sculptor who vanished nearly a decade before. Despite the insistence of Stiller's wife, brother, and mistress, and in the face of every incentive to admit that he is Stiller, the man perseveres in his denial. Yet he betrays uncanny perceptions of the personality he disclaims: sculptor, husband, lover, prisoner. Awesome. Look at that cover. All right, now let's get into the books that I ordered. And I did not order them from the A company. Why give that guy more money? All the money in the world. He's still bald. Have you seen the chick he's dating? Jesus Christ. Just shows you, no matter how much money you have, you can't buy taste. So I'm opening these for you. Check this out. I love that knife. Oh yeah. Got a lot of Japanese stuff here. Snow Country, Yasunari Kawabata. Kawabata wrote Beauty and Sadness, which I loved. I took a Japanese culture class last year at university, which was just okay. It was quite light. And the teacher told me that they used to teach this, but because the students had become so fucking stupid in the last few years, they had to dumb it down. And now instead of teaching this in the Japanese culture class, they teach Kitchen by Banana something or other. I thought that was really a shame because even if you have a bunch of dummies, as a teacher, you could still tell them that they have to read this book and, make them suffer through it. I certainly would, but she was a bit too kind and a bit too lenient. See, that's the thing though, because now with the websites with ratemyprofessor.com, everybody goes to that and they know who's the lenient teacher, who's the teacher who doesn't really make you read too much? Who's the teacher who will give you extension? Who's the teacher who gives you easy grades? And if you get known on there for those things, your classrooms get filled up with, the laziest, shittiest students. And as much as I enjoyed the class, it was full of dickheads. And she used to teach this. What's it about? I don't know. Dazzling portrait of a country geisha in a Japanese hot springs resort. In the summer, I went to a Japanese hot springs resort and I loved it. Didn't meet any geishas though, because married. Wow. I didn't know it was going to be this edition. I love these editions. On my 2024 TBR, yeah, I've got that one as well. These editions I think are just stupendous. I love them. They're quite rare though. I hardly ever see them. But I'm starting to get the feeling that when I do, that's a mark of quality. Marguerite Duras, The Ravishing of Lowell Stein. Ravishing. You don't see that word in the title too often. The Ravishing of Lowell Stein is a haunting early novel by the author of The Lover. Lowell Stein is a beautiful young woman, securely married, interesting adjective, settled in a comfortable life, and a voyeur. My. Returning with her husband and children to the town where, years before, her fiancé had abandoned her for another woman, she is drawn inexorably to recreate that long-past tragedy. Yeah, I know why I ordered this. She arranges a rendezvous for her friend Tatiana and Tatiana's lover. She arranges to spy on them, and then she goes a step further. Have you ever read anything so enticing on the back of the book? God damn. So many great books, and where are they? Why? I guess that's my job, right? I was about to lament, why doesn't anyone bring them to our attention? But then I remembered, well, Grant from grantlovesbooks, that's your job, to find those books, read them, tell us if they're any good, and if they are, bring it to the world's attention. Now, who cares what's being published in 2024? I'll get to you in 50 years' time. And if you're good, you'll still be there. Oh, hardcover. Wow. The Interrogation, a novel by J.M.G. Clezio, winner of the 2008 Nobel Prize. Remember, the Nobel Prize is not given for a book. It's given to the author for a body of work. The Interrogation did not win a Nobel Prize. The author did for his lifetime achievements in literature. What is this about? I really don't know. Was born in Nice in 1940 and one of France's best-known contemporary writers. Let's read the first paragraph. A. Once upon a time, in the dog days, there was a fellow sitting at an open window. He was an inordinately tall boy with a slight stoop. His name was Adam Polo. He had the air of a beggar in his way of looking everywhere for patches of sunshine and sitting for hours practically motionless in the angle of a wall. He never knew what to do with his arms. He usually left them to dangle at his sides, touching his body as little as possible. He was like one of those sick animals that make a canny retreat into some refuge and watch stealthily for danger. Okay. It's a little weird. All right, there we go.
Yeah. Don't you know that Christmas is fantastic in the morning? And Christmas is fantastic in the evening? But Christmas is most fantastic in the afternoon. Take it away, me.
This one is kind of weird. So, Émile Zola, The Fortune of the Rogons. This is the first book in the 20-novel series, Rougon Macquart. This was the first one, and I ordered this. It's not like a real novel from a publishing company. There's no page numbers, and it's it's been printed out. I really need to check how much I spent on this one, because even though it looks like a book, it doesn't feel like a book. Oh, well, I guess the writing is really what matters, right? And I shouldn't be so goddamn finicky about, oh, it doesn't look like a proper book the way I like it. I've got a bunch of Zola down there, but as I mentioned before, I would kind of like to read the whole series from number 1 to number 20. Ideally, I would do that all in a row, but that would take me at least 6 months to do it, and I don't have the time to devote that much energy into this big reading project for the next 6 months. I've got my university studies. Anyway, I'll put that one on the shelf and I'll see when I get round to it. My other French obsession, of course, Balzac, The Wild Ass's Skin. Exploring the extravagances of bourgeois materialism, the novel relates the fantastical story of a young man named Raphael who stumbles on a magical piece of wild ass's skin with the power to grant wishes, but these wishes come at a cost. The ingenious and insightful literary classic. There's quite a few novels from Balzac which are on the Harold Bloom's Western canon, and I want to read them all. I tried to read one novel by Balzac a year and one by Zola a year. There are probably some other authors that I should include on that list. However, like both of those two French authors were so prolific that I make a point of reading one of their works a year. And with Balzac, what year are we into? Eugène Grandet, The Black Sheep, Cousin Bette, and either this one or one of the other ones. So this is year 4 for Balzac and only year 2 for Zola. And the last of my Christmas presents. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I thought there were more. 8. Oh, I thought there were more than that. Havoc. Tom Kristensen. I was really shocked that it was so fat. 505 pages. For some reason, I thought this book was short. I thought this was like 175, 195. And so when I opened it up and it was 500 pages, I was really shocked. I don't know why I got it in my mind that it was a short one, but so it was funny, like, oh, god damn, that's a big one. Ole, yes, Yastrau, is the very model of an enterprising and ambitious young man of letters, poised on the brink of what is sure to be a distinguished career as a critic. In fact, he is teetering on the brink of an emotional and moral abyss. Bored with his beautiful wife and chafing at the burdens of fatherhood, disdainful of the commercialism and political opportunism of the newspaper he works for, he feels more and more that his life lacks meaning. He flirts with Catholicism, he flirts with communism, but somehow he doesn't have the makings of a true believer. Then he takes up with the bottle, a truly meaningful relationship. Oh God. Slowly and quietly he intends to go to the dogs. Yastrau's romance with self-destruction will take him through all the circles of hell. The process will be anything but slow and quiet. Holy Christ. I think that I was given the tip about this book from Knausgaard. He mentions this book in his big series, which, book number 1 was incredible, like 10 out of 10, pure literature. Book 6 was just like the most self-serving, self-centered, pretentious, head up your ass nonsense I've ever read. And it was like 1,600 pages, something disgusting. Hopefully this came from the good Knausgaard and not the bad Knausgaard. Well, as someone who loves literature, I even though he wrote a very, very terrible book, he also wrote a very good book, so I trust his taste in literature. So I'm looking forward to this. It's just every time I pick it up, I'm taken aback. Somehow I just can't get it into my mind that it's 500 pages, and I just keep thinking that it's much shorter than it actually is. Like this is a big fat book. All right, so those are my Christmas presents for my lovely wife. Yeah, really, really great literature. Maybe it's, some of these books look weird. You might be thinking, oh God, how the hell does he find those books? I find them. I just go onto the internet and the 100 greatest, the best critical books of the 20th century, of all time, of Europe. Which one am I going to read first? Really, I have no idea. I ordered these not because I'm in need of anything to read. Like, there's my 2024 TBR right there. Look at that. That's a stack of literature that is waiting for me. Maybe all those books will be on my 2025 TBR. So looking forward to all of these. Just God knows when I'm going to get the chance to read them. Oh well, Christmas only comes but once a year. So a couple of videos ago, I did something that made me feel really good. This is my magazine that I had printed. This is number 89 out of 100. I'm reducing the price. They're $12 each. Okay, so write me an email. My email address is down there below. Write me an email and you send me $12 and I'll send you this. Or if you're still watching the video right to the very end, as a little bonus for anyone who's still watching the video, if you write me an email right now, my Gmail address, the first 3 people who write to me and say, Grant, please send me your magazine for free, and you include your postal address, I will send you this for free. Because last week's, a couple of people wrote to me because they watched right to the end of the video and they wrote me an email and said, did I qualify for the free magazine? I said, yeah, you did. I'll put it in an envelope and I'll go to the post office and it's coming to you. If you're quick, you get one for free. 3 people. Give it a chance. Even if the video's a couple of days old, write to me. If it's not free, I'll write back. If it is free, congratulations. Otherwise, $12. I reduced the price. Initially, I said $20, but I'm reducing the price because, well, I want to get rid of them. My wife and I are starting to look around this tiny little apartment and think, what can we get rid of? And the big box of magazines that I had printed under the bed, yeah, I would like to really try to push those out the door ASAP. So this is my writing. It's 3 of my short stories that have already been published in magazines. So I say that because I want you to know that there is some quality involved. Like, I was paid for this writing, and one of my poems. I think my best poem that I've ever written. And it's signed. I had 100 printed. They're all signed and numbered, so the one you get is unique and a collector's item. And when I'm a big famous guy, you could sell it for thousands, and you might get it for free. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Grant. This is Grant Loves Books. Ta-ra! As nice as it is to order things online, you should go out and try to shop locally and support your good-hearted local tradesmen. If you ever happen to be in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, I can't imagine why you would be, because there's fuck all here. But if you do happen to get here, there is a wonderful secondhand vintage clothing, you know, the really wild, cool, crazy stuff, you know, all those awesome t-shirts. When I was a teenager, I used to go down to Toronto, and in Toronto there's this one crazy street called Kensington Market, and it's just like, it's a row of dilapidated housing and it's just basically full with all kinds of secondhand bullshit clothes. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been there since the 90s. And in New Westminster there is a shop called Orange Crush Velvet, and a man and his wife, she does the clothing, he does the books, and he has a master's degree in English literature. And this was very quickly apparent because whenever I go into a secondhand store to check out the books, there's a couple, you know, there's some good ones, but as soon as I saw the books on his shelf, they were all winners. Like he had the most amazing collection of secondhand books I've seen, really, in anywhere. Like this, and this is far and away the best used bookstore in New Westminster, and even in Vancouver. Like, there's only a couple of other shops that come close to his selection. And I've struck up a friendship with him. Yeah, and he knows a lot about literature. So anyway, what a goddamn preamble that is. I went over there and I bought some books from him. And so that's what I picked up in Orange Crush Velvet. And it is, goddamn, it's so good. Every time I go in there, I would come away with a dozen books. And and easily have over an hour conversation with the guy that owns the shop. And I'm really happy. I talked to him and he said his business is doing well, and in the future he's going to try to open up one shop that's just for books and one shop that's just for clothes. And I hope he does, because you know, good people.